Good evening and welcome to Joliet Junior College's third annual Night of Stars. I'm Christy Mulvey, the Executive Director of the Joliet Junior College Foundation. This year, things look a little bit different. We can't be together, but we are happy to be coming to you virtually tonight. After canceling last year's events, we truly miss the celebration and have been eager for our Night of Stars to return. Tonight, we are excited to celebrate the accomplishments of several individuals in our community, along with the donors that support the mission of the JJC Foundation. These donors provide financial assistance for scholarships, equipment, projects, and programs. Their gifts support our students and ensure a superior education. The JJC Foundation was established in 1973 as the 501c3 arm of the college. Today, the JJC Foundation is one of the largest foundations of all 44 community colleges in the state of Illinois. Our total assets have reached $31 million, with $13 million in endowments. We are experiencing a record year in annual contributions totaling $1.8 million. I am honored to work with an outstanding foundation board of directors. These men and women give their time, talent, and treasures by donating funds personally and from their prospective companies. Before we get started, I want to give you a special thanks to the sponsors of this year's event. These sponsors have stood by our side as events were canceled, rescheduled, and even made virtual over the last 12 months. We truly have partners that believe in the work of the foundation. At this time, I'd like to introduce to you the president of Joliet Junior College, Dr. Judy Mitchell.
Thank you, Christy. I am thrilled to share in this evening of celebration and appreciation. It's long overdue. For as much turbulence as 2020 brought, I think brought greater clarity to the institution. We elevated our operations to create new ways of learning and engagement. We found new ways to support students virtually through mental wellness support and access to technology like laptops and internet hotspots. We expanded how we use student emergency funds to maximize the number of students we support. We launched the Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Compliance Office to drive equity work across the college. The key word throughout is we. We are JJC Strong. All of you are connected to JJC in different ways. It is through these diverse relationships that we are able to make a difference. The people we are honoring this evening have impacted their communities in transformational ways, and we are proud to call them members of our JJC family. Their commitment to growing scholarships, opportunities, supporting the college through enhancements of academic programs, buildings, equipment, and other priority needs is truly unmatched. At this time, I would like to take a moment to honor a previous JJC Award recipient, Lynn Lichtenauer, who passed away just this past February. Lynn received the 2019 J.D. Ross Extraordinary Service Award for Distinguished Public Service and meant so much to our community, it is difficult to imagine a world without the kindness, generosity, and unique sense of civic engagement Lynn possessed. I know her spirit and her smile will be with us always. We are so fortunate to have individuals like Lynn who have driven progress in our community for the greater good. The individuals we honor this evening through the Distinguished Alumni Achievement Award and the Susan H. Wood Award are uniquely qualified and deserving of our recognition. So let's get started. Tonight, we honor Mr. William Conte with the Distinguished Alumni Achievement Award. It is the highest honor bestowed upon a JJC alumnus or alumna presented to those alumni who have demonstrated outstanding success in their chosen field and provided humanitarian service to our society. Mr. Conte is a vibrant example of this honor. His civic and philanthropic engagements range from St. Raymond's Administrative Board, St. Raymond's School Board, the YMCA Board of Directors, Shorewood Rotary past president, American Italian Cultural Society Board Officer, and serving on the JJC Foundation since 2007. He also volunteers with Meals on Wheels and the Daybreak Shelter. He's a senior portfolio manager and senior vice president at Morgan Stanley and has achieved several professional recognitions throughout his career from A.G. Edwards and Morgan Stanley. Mr. Conte is a first-generation college student. As he shared with us, his parents immigrated from Italy, learning English by watching shows on PBS. It was never a question that he should go to college, and for Bill, JJC was his first choice. He graduated with his associate degree in 1985 and earned his bachelor's degree in 1987 in finance from Illinois State University. Please enjoy this video about our 2020 Distinguished Alumni Achievement Award, Mr. William Conte.
My parents always preached education. Education is the key, and at that very early age, I saw it firsthand. My father came over from Italy at age 21 with one suit and one suitcase in 1956. He worked here for a few years, then he went back to Italy and got married. My mother came over in 1964. JJC was absolutely the perfect fit. I could get an associate's degree and be close to home, and that was very, very important to us.
I first met Bill when he came on the board in 2007. So Bill's been on our foundation board for 13 years. He's an active participant, so he's served a lot of roles at the foundation. But I think the most important gift that he has brought the foundation is his knowledge of financial advising and working with our portfolio managers at Northern Trust.
My interest in my field actually started at a very young age. It actually came when I received my first check from passing my newspapers. After 2 weeks, I received a check for $8. So my dad was very excited for me, and he asked me, well, we've got to go cash the check. Let's go to the bank, and we can open an account there. And I, of course, wanted nothing to do with that. I wanted to cash my check and buy comics and candies at the corner grocery store. So the following check that I received, he talked me into taking half of my money and placing that in the bank, and he would match that. And as soon as I got my passbook back, I noticed my money had doubled. At age 8, I became a saver and started thinking about investing just by that small, I used to call it a trick that my dad used, but it's been very, very motivational for me.
In development, we talk a lot about time and treasures and talents of different donors and individuals that we come in contact at the foundation. And Bill kind of hits all three of those. He shares his talents as far as his knowledge of financial advising. He gives of his time, and then his treasures. Bill has been a sponsor for us since he's been on the board. He sponsors some of our activities, and he gives a personal gift from his family.
The help that I received at Joliet Junior College started with the counselor, Dr. Marin Saran. I felt like he could read my mind. He knew exactly where I wanted to go, and he laid out this 2-year program for me, and it was smooth as can be. Dr. Tim Helton was my accounting instructor, and he was a wonderful, wonderful instructor. Also, my business law instructor, Esquire Michael Stubbs, made a big impact.
He is the epitome of someone that went to Joliet Junior College. He understands the value of the education that he got here at JJC, and he's just a great cheerleader for this organization.
With JJC, I truly feel that was a springboard for me. When I walked through those doors, many possibilities were opened up to me, and it was all close to home, where I had the support of my family and friends. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm grateful and humbled for being chosen for the Distinguished Alumni Achievement Award. I would like to thank the Alumni Board for this great honor, along with the entire staff of Joliet Junior College. Also, a big thank you to my family and friends for their support throughout the years. This accomplishment is something I did not do alone. There are many more to thank, like the many great alumni that this institution has produced. And I would also like to share this honor with them, if I may. The mission of Joliet Junior College is to inspire learning, strengthen communities, and transform lives. And I am truly a benefactor of this vision. I am hoping to continue with this vision by remaining active on the Joliet Junior College Executive Foundation Board. To all the educators, teachers, instructors, and professors, please know that you are truly making a difference and touching the lives of your students. Thank you so much for this award. Thank you for your choice and for your trust. I will do my best to justify your trust and continue executing Joliet Junior College's mission. Congratulations to the other award winners and honorees. Thank you all for a very memorable evening.
It is my pleasure to announce our 2020 Susan H. Wood Hall of Fame Award winner, Professor Emeritus Peter Neff. This award recognizes a non-alumnus or alumna who is a current or former faculty member, administrator, or friend who has served JJC in an exceptional way. It was named after Susan H. Wood, one of the college's most influential leaders, who worked at JJC from 1944 to 1970. Susan also helped establish the JJC Alumni Association. Professor Peter Neff was a significant influence within the college community for 40 years, and he considered teaching a special calling. I want to share this part of his nomination packet, which is especially illuminating. It says, Pete was ambitious and gracious. Part of his obituary read, teaching is the most honorable profession there is. And I think many in our JJC community would agree with that observation. Professor Neff started at JJC in 1968 after serving 2 years in the Peace Corps, with much of that time spent in Venezuela. He taught rhetoric and literature and was the first director of the college's honor program. He was instrumental in developing the first contract between faculty and administration, in addition to serving as the tennis coach for many years. Professor Neff spent countless hours outside of the classroom recruiting students from across our 7-county district to attend JJC.
Pete never really considered that much of any other occupation. You know, teaching was in his family, and that's what he was going to do too, and I think that's what he always loved. He graduated from high school at 16 and went off to Pomona College in California. Then he went to graduate school, and then he went to the Peace Corps, and then from the Peace Corps he came here.
He always liked other cultures. That's what drew him to the Peace Corps, I think. And he was always talking about places elsewhere that fascinated him. We were office mates for 30 some years. He was one of these very open people. He just loved to talk to people. You know, if you'd be going across campus to do something, and you were going with Pete, it'd take a while because he'd be stopping and talking to people all the time, you know. But he was that kind of a guy. When I first came here as a student, it was 71, so the spring of 71, I took his class. Pete always had a smile for every single student, and you just got the feeling that you were important, I guess, and it was important that you were there.
People were just liked being around him. He was friendly, he was funny, he was attractive, he was energetic. I don't know any teacher who ever had more influence over students than he did.
Pete's class was very tough, and I remember it was really hard to get an A, so you really had to work for it.
They didn't get the highest grades. He was not, he wasn't giving out A's. You earned a C, and they respected him for it. For them, that was an A.
Well, then when I came back and got the job, he had to pass my desk to get to the athletic department because he was the men's tennis coach. And I said, hey, do you remember me? And of course he didn't. They had like 1,000 students a year, and this was 5 years later, and he had been in England on a sabbatical leave for a year, and of course he wouldn't have remembered me, but I made him remember me, and we got married a couple years later.
I was the chair when the honors program was introduced, and Pete worked very hard at that.
And he started studying what some of the other colleges and universities do for honors programs, and eventually put together what he thought was going to be an effective program, and he was absolutely right. It worked beautifully.
There was never a subject that he wouldn't have an opinion on. He was a great debater, so he always wanted to debate every side of an issue, and of course his side of the issue. And
we used to have some disagreements, and they became legendary. And we get louder and louder and louder, and pretty soon there would be people crowded around the door out there listening.
Every Friday night, I called it a fight night. So we would cook, we would go to our little study, we would listen to the news, and then we'd begin to argue. And we would argue all night long. He loved just taking the opposing view of the devil's advocate just to do it, because he just loved to argue.
Once you start seeing that there is a way of thinking that doesn't always just accept things, but begins to analyze and question, that's when growth starts happening. And I think that's very much what he stimulated.
Here to offer appreciation and remembrance of Peter is his wife, Pat.
on behalf of the Neff family, it is both a pleasure and an honor to receive this award for my late husband, Pete. If he were here, he'd probably say he wasn't deserving. He wasn't one for pomp and circumstance, but he would be very proud to receive this. His salary was only $7,000 when he started teaching here at JJC in 1968. He always thought it would be a stepping stone to somewhere else, but he fell in love with JJC and the Joliet area. He was passionate about teaching and believed it wasn't just training students to read and write, but teaching them to think in terms of concepts. And that involved absorbing ideas from all over the world and expressing them. He probably taught over 12,000 students in his career. After he retired, he was asked if he always wanted to be an educator, and he said it wasn't so much that he wanted to be one, but that he came from an academic background, and he said that's what he thought people did. He had 5 majors in college, but decided on English because he liked to read. And after he retired, he bought boxes and boxes of books that he read in between teaching introductory college courses for JJC at local high schools for 5 years before he passed away. He was also very proud of teaching the men's tennis team here and taking them on to nationals, but I think he was most proud of creating the JJC Honors Program. The rooms devoted to the program and to the Fine Arts Department halls were strewn with his photos from England that he took on a sabbatical leave of literary and historic places, another example of how he brought the outside world into JJC. I would like to thank the foundation for awarding this posthumously, which is very unique. And special thanks go to Pat Asher for submitting his name. And thanks also go to his fellow English department colleagues and friends, John Stobart, Pat Asher, and Ted Thompson, for their part in the video and for the countless hours he spent with them debating and discussing over the years on and off campus. Pete would be very proud of this award. Thank you again.
The next award we will be presenting is a new award this year, the JJC Foundation Distinguished Partners in Excellence Award. This award recognizes an exemplary employer, business, or industry group that has demonstrated decisive involvement and firm commitment to advancing the mission of both Joliet Junior College and the JJC Foundation. The first ever recipient of the JJC Foundation Distinguished Partners in Excellence Award is LyondellBasell, one of the world's largest plastics, chemicals, and refining companies. LyondellBasell has been a Joliet Junior College business partner for over 25 years. The partnership's main focus is to educate a skilled workforce while ensuring that JJC's programs stay up to date with the changing needs of the industry. Over the years, LyondellBasell has provided financial resources to academic programs, having donated over $58,000 to JJC for new programs and equipment. The commitment goes far beyond that. The partnership advances the economic prosperity of our community by engaging students and connecting with our academic programs. LyondellBasell has worked with area petrochemical and manufacturing companies to design academic pathways to the college, including the process control instrumentation technician and the operations engineering and technician degree programs. LyondellBasell maintains a strong presence on Joliet Junior College advisory boards, working on college curriculum and industry needs. In 2019, LyondellBasell received the Business Industry Partnership Award by the Community College Trustees Association of Illinois for its partnerships with Joliet Junior College. Accepting the award on behalf of LyondellBasell is Megan Borchers, the U.S. North Region Public Relations Lead.
Hello, I'm Megan Borchers, the Public Relations Lead for LyondellBasell's Morris plant. I'm extremely honored to accept this award on behalf of my colleagues at LyondellBasell. Our relationship with Joliet Junior College continues to grow with each passing year, as does our partnership. This two-way street is cultivated by a commitment to each other to advance excellence, particularly around workforce development. We are extremely proud and humbled to be the first ever recipient of the Distinguished Partners in Excellence Award. Thank you.
What sets JJC apart from all other institutions is that this is the nation's first public community college. We celebrate 120 years in 2021. Alongside that amazing historical milestone, we are celebrating the retirement of one of the longest-serving community college trustees in the state of Illinois and really across the country, Mr. Bob Wunderlich. Bob has served on the JJC board for 44 years. Let me put this into perspective. Each trustee term is 6 years. To be a successful trustee, these positions require significant time investment, multiple meetings per month, and community engagement. Trustees are elected to and receive no compensation. They vote on critical issues impacting the college, supporting the budget and financial choices, academic programming, and so much more. Bob has served as the JJC Board of Trustees chairman on multiple occasions throughout his 44 years, including this past term. That's why we would like to announce that the new pedestrian walkway on the north side of the City Center campus building will be dedicated to Chairman Wunderlich. The City Center campus project has been intimately important to Chairman Wunderlich, and we cannot think of a better way to honor Bob, his legacy, and his passion for downtown Joliet than to name this space on our campus in his honor. When the site work for the project is completed in late summer, we will host a celebration with a plaque to honor its namesake, Mr. Bob Wunderlich. Now please enjoy recollections from people who have worked with Bob over the years and take a trip down memory lane.
Wow, 44 years as Joliet Junior College trustee. It's incredible. I mean, in 2 months, we're going to be married for 25 years. and that really seems like a long time. But anyone who knows my husband Bob can tell you that he's steadfast and loyal. And when he devotes himself to something, his enthusiasm just doesn't fade. Wherever we go, whoever we meet, he'll work Joliet Junior College into the conversation somehow. I mean, he'll talk about it being the oldest community college in the country, how it started out as classrooms in a Quonset hut, and now there's satellite campuses all over and a beautiful city center campus. And that will, of course, lead them into the culinary arts program and how many certified master chefs and certified executive chefs they have teaching there. And I think that is what is so wonderful about Bob, because he genuinely thinks that the best things in life are right in his own community, and the best people are in his own hometown.
Bob, to me, his greatest asset as a board member was that he was a great listener. He would take into account all the information given to him, and then he would arrive at his own conclusion. And in particular, I appreciated that when I was president, because we had a few sticky wicket issues at the time that he was board chair, and I always felt comfortable in calling him, knowing that I was going to get a fair hearing to lay out what the issues were, and that he would have some sound suggestions as to what we might do to move forward.
Hi, Dad. I just wanted to say congratulations for giving so much to JJC, 44 years. It's amazing. I remember so many events that you took me to at the college, Classical 100 dinners, meeting the governor, lots of fun things that you took us to. And I just want to say that I'm really proud of everything that you have given to JJC, and it wouldn't be JJC without you. Love you.
Tonight we are honoring you, Bob, for the 44 years of dedicated service that you gave to Joliet Junior College. At a very young age, you believed that there was no worthier cause than education and community service, as proven by the number of years of your life that you devoted to being a board member of JJC. You were revered by your fellow board members, as evidenced by the number of times you were elected by them to serve as the chairman of the board. And your construction background was invaluable, as you founded and served on the Building and Grounds Committee for many, many years. You have seen many changes, from the temporary buildings to where we are today. You were instrumental in leading the college through the 2008 successful referendum approved by the voters during your tenure. You also led the college through the loss of their 7th president, Dr. Gina Prue. And today, you and Dr. Mitchell are successfully leading the college through the current pandemic. As you begin the next chapter of your life, your steadfast belief in the community college system and that all members of the community deserve the opportunity for an excellent education at a fair price will live on here at JJC. In closing, it has been a privilege to work for you, and please know that you will be missed, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
A good story of dedication to both the college and family is many years ago, we were on a family vacation. We're having such a great time, and we wanted to extend the trip an extra week. But we knew that you had the board meeting that Wednesday. I think in 44 years, you only missed a handful of meetings, which is remarkable. We had Beth ask if we could stay, because I know you can never say no to Beth. So you didn't want to disappoint us or miss a meeting. So you drove 4 hours that day, attended the meeting, then you drove 4 hours back to be with us. Thank you.
Well, Bob has a great sense of humor. I don't know how it's changed since I left the college, but He could tell some interesting stories, and he would come up with some what I call one-line zingers. And the best part of it was see the glimmer in his eye when he told a joke. It was like a little kid having a new experience. Just a wonderful sense of humor.
Hi, Papa Bob. Congratulations on 44 years. That's a long time. We're so proud of you. Bye. Love you. Love you.
Dedication. Actually, kind of a silly question when a man served well over 40 years. And it's a non-paid position, and it's more than one meeting a month. I think Bob has probably been president of the board well over 20 years, and that involves weekly activities. Then you throw in all the special events, everything going out. That's dedicated, well over 40 years.
He was only 24 years old when he sought to be elected to the board over there. And I think he learned right then that if you want to attain your wishes, that it's hard work. Talk to people, and it just was a lot of hard work. And I think it finally made him realize that everything doesn't come very easy all the time through life. You have to work hard for what you wish to attain. And little did I ever think that 44 years later, I'd be seeing his name on the ballot.
So thinking back over the years, from the first time I actually worked with Bob was at a Buildings and Grounds committee meeting. Until recently, I didn't know that he actually started the committee, and to this day, I think it's truly one of his favorites. Bob was the chairman of the committee, and he ran the meetings like he runs a construction site. Our projects had to be on time, on budget, but he respected his crew. And in this case, the crew was the JJC team. Bob's extensive knowledge of the trades and his skill sets were fantastic, and he understood the updates we provided at each meeting. When the JJC team spoke to the qualifications of architects and engineers, he sat and contemplated, and we waited as he provided a comprehensive review of each detail. Then when he gave us that little grin, we knew we were okay. It was kind of like a Santa's wink. So Bob also walked the sites of each project, offering his advice. Sometimes I felt like we were being graded by a faculty member. We'd watch him assess the work being done, listen for feedback, and then again, when we received that little grin of approval, or just that little nod, it was our affirmation and approval to keep up the great work. Now, at the same time, he kept us on our toes, and if he did notice something that might have needed to be addressed, he'd point that out as well. He'd always ensure safety was first and foremost, and if he noticed something not right, he'd be sure to let me know. This was like a call to action actually took place at the demo of the old hotel in downtown Joliet. Safety helmets were not being worn by a couple of staff members after hours, but looking at the site was closed down, and I got the call. Bob, I don't know how you do it, but there are times I felt like you had a camera located in places we could not even see it. You seemed to know everything that was going on at all times, and you were sure to call me out. So this all speaks to your dedication and commitment to JJC. From the earlier years to now, you have always supported me, and I cannot thank you enough. You've been a mentor to me throughout the years, and I will forever be grateful. So for now, Bob, let's go Packers.
Well, Bob, congratulations on retiring from the board. The Joliet area and the community and the surrounding communities all appreciate all your hard work and appreciate all you've done. 40 plus years is a long commitment to be on the board, and it sure shows, because look how far JJC has come from when you got on the board and when you're getting off the board. I was just lucky to serve with you. I know it runs in the family. My dad actually enjoyed serving with you and said that you were a great trustee when he was on the board, and you were a great trustee when I was on the board. Again, thank you for all your service, Bob, and enjoy your retirement.
As far as his legacy, he started out here when this was Quonset's Huts back in the early 70s, as a student first and as a trustee. You look at all these buildings, his name's on every one of them. He served on committees that decided what was going when and where. It's quite a legacy when you come out here now, because this is one of the finest junior colleges in the nation.
I know that over the 44 years that Bob has been a trustee, he's very grateful for the friendships that he's developed with the staff members and the board members. And I know he's very proud, for example, of Judy Mitchell's rise through the ranks of the college to become the current college president. But his focus has truly been the fine education that Joliet Junior College offers its students at really an affordable price. And I think that's what he would say he is most proud of.
Congratulations, Bob, on 44 years of service to Joliet Junior College. You have always been a champion for the JJC Foundation, and we have been lucky to have you as a constant supporter. As a special thank you for your service, the JJC Foundation Board of Directors has allocated funds to start the Robert J. Wunderlich Endowed Scholarship, honoring your time and commitment to JJC. Congratulations, Bob.
I'm a man of few words, but let me say I am humbled beyond belief. I chose this path 44 years ago because I believed in what the college was doing then, and I believe in what the college does now, making education accessible. I retired this year professionally, but let me be the first to say I will never retire from advocating for Joliet Junior College. I am deeply humbled by the $30,000 scholarship endowment by the foundation in my name, and the naming of the City Center campus public walkway. My intent to serve all of these years was not for recognition, but because I can't imagine this community without Joliet Junior College. While I am ready to move on, I know JJC will flourish under new leadership. I am so proud to be part of this college's history. While I hope JJC has left an impression on you, I can say with certainty that this college has left an indelible mark on me. God bless and thank you.
Before we close the program, I would like to once again congratulate this year's award winners. Our community is a better place because of the work that you do. We are honored to recognize you tonight. The heart of what we are able to provide to our students is the financial assistance we receive from our valued donors. We appreciate all levels of gifts and are grateful for the commitment they have to the work that we do in this community. At the end of this presentation, our 5,000 plus donors from 2019 and 2020 are listed. Their support is vital to our success. Please join me in thanking them for their support. I cannot close the program without a huge thank you to our media services and external communications team, especially Hank Brockett and Scott Harvey. They did all the writing, taping, and editing for our videos tonight. More importantly, Hank is the reason we are able to celebrate virtually tonight. Again, thank you for joining our celebration tonight. We hope to see you in person next year.